Happy Tuesday, everyone. Or happy Flight Sim Update Day. Something along those lines. Hope everyone is well this evening. We're almost through the week. And by almost, we're 2 days in. But hey, it's progress. Progress is progress. One step forward is still a step forward. Hope everyone is well. Got some folks in the chat to say hello to. Allison Johnson's here. Good evening. Papa Joe B's here. Howdy. Ed Reed is here. Welcome, welcome. We have a Dougal McTavish. Hello, hello. Murphy has resubscribed. 5 months strong. Noel is here. Good evening to you. Randy Hurst, welcome. So yeah, so lots of the sim update dropped today, introducing VR to the masses, or MSFS. Sadly, I'm not one of those able to partake. I lack the headset, and that's okay. That's something down the line that I would love to do. The new skins are and such are available in the sim marketplace related to the update. So yeah, should be an interesting day. I'm making no promises of sim performance. I haven't really tested out. Didn't really have all that much time to do much with it between getting it finished up, set up, and then thusly tested before the stream. But we'll make do with what we can do. Seamus McNeil's here. Welcome. Let me... So I think something else is causing an issue here, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's see if that fixes it. Stay tuned. We're experiencing some technical difficulties off the bat. Okay, those are okay. So should be okay. Good evening, Murphy. So today we're going to kind of finish up some sort of a trip here in Ireland. We're in the south. We're currently picking off where we left off at Kerry. We'll be flying over Cork and on our way to Waterford. From Waterford, we're going to fly up towards Newcastle, do a flyover, and fly our way into Dublin and check out the new Orbex scenery once we land at the airport. And from there, we're going to make our final little trip to Birr. Nice little grass strip in practically the dead center of the island. So huzzah and everything that goes with. We are here in the 152, not that you can see it, It is a little dark this early in the morning. We'll go ahead and get into the cockpit. Gonna go ahead and get this machine up and running. Set our trim. Throttle's cracked, mixture's full. Get master switches off. We want to make sure our radios are off. Make sure that's set. Season's greetings to you as well, Sticky. I should be at Kerry. I'm sitting on the ground and I'm on the East USA server. So that's all good. Beacon is on. Clear prop. All right. Ben McClure's here. Good evening. And we're at the right. Here's the tachometer look a little different. Maybe it's just been a minute since I've been in the 152. Empty airport for Dougal, apparently. So we're gonna this, do that. That. Yeah, what Ed said. So we got those running, and some more lights on. Good old Microsoft servers. So we'll give this some time to sort itself out, as well as let the airplane itself warm up. We still have some radios to turn on. So we'll turn on the transponder, we'll turn on radio 2. Turn on radio 1. Turn on the ADF. Show that again. So while we wait for give the sim a little bit of time to sort itself out. let's try the North Europe server for kicks and giggles. There, now I see some people. I see Merlin Flyer. I see Alleycats. I have uninstalled the UI name tags mod thingamabob just for the sake of the update. So notified. Yeah, that's about when I was able to get the update. So we're running the weather setting of few clouds. So for now, we're going to, now that we have things semi-sorted, pardon me, yep, that's about thing is 807, running few clouds. So we will be using the North Europe server for the time being anyway. We make our way to the active. Get a look at the old windsock as we go by. So we're going to want to go to the far end of the runway. As we go past the hold short line, the taxi light comes off, the landing light comes on, and the strobe lights come on for visibility. Yeah, the servers are on a bit of an overload right now. So we'll just make this work. I'm usually on the North Europe server for the Murphy streams anyway, as are most of us. So it's all good. I mean, what can you say? Update days, they do things. But we do what we can to make do and make it work. I am in the 152. The wonderful little classic 2-seat commuter / trainer beautiful little airplane. It'd be cool to get one of the late 50s styled ones with the razorback and the square tail. Maybe even a tail dragger version. There have been a multitude of, or many, there's a lot of people that have taken a 152 and converted it to conventional landing gear, making for a unique experience with the 152. I think that would be neat to have available in the sim. Okay, so I'm not the only one that thinks that the tachometer looks different. Because I was looking at it and I was kind of questioning whether it looked the same or if it looked different, and I guess it is different. So we're going to go ahead and take off and do our left turn as we wait for folks to get up and going. We're moving. It's like she wants to fly. Manage it all with trim. Some floating lights. Don't see that every day. Flaps are going up. We're high enough. We're maintaining runway heading for now. Gonna use trim to maintain about 500 foot a minute climb. At least as best as possible. We'll start our left-hand turn. Do think there's quite a few of the Flying Circus and the Firefly is in the midst of an update, and that's okay. It was a heftier than expected update, I'll say that. 13 some odd gigs. And sometimes I forget how much I enjoy the 152, just a simple little airplane. There's Dougal McTavish. Roger that, Merlin. We'll do another lap around the airport. Let's see, challenges, airports, deliveries, etc. Woof. That's a hefty duty air update. Not to mention the anything third party that needs updated due to the update, pending availability. Yeah. I mean, that's huge. So we'll go ahead and finish this turn and proceed on course towards Cork. We'll fly over. Pardon me, we'll fly over Cork on our way to Waterford. Do our first landings there. There's Rad Pilot Randy. Starting their takeoff roll. Catbat 9 is nearly done with the update. Huzzah. Kind of try to level off where we're at altitude wise. Papa Joe bought the Mooney and Seminole today, as there's a big marketplace sale going on right now. I don't blame you at all. Both good additions to the fleet. Well, happy early birthday, Allison. There's Commandant Muttley. There's Randy. so far it seems that our trim job is doing okay. As far as trimming out the airplane for cruise. Yeah, the Seminole's a worthy addition. It's a suitable stand-in until there's a Coronado 310 or the Milviz one. Let's see. The Hobbs in the TAC and the hours in the TAC. Good old 152. So they said they've made some performance changes in some of the GA aircraft. I'm not sure if they've really made any to this one in particular. Trying to keep altitude about 3,500 feet or so. In what plane, Dougal? Yeah, it does seem that it's trimmed out a little better. It's just engine performance is kind of where I'm kind of wondering. Although it should be good, I guess. I guess it is a little faster than normal, or what it used to be. Allison's in the 172. There's a general GA performance control improvement. Yeah, that's I'm gonna have to read over the notes again. See what they said. I did read them, I just couldn't honestly recall the specific details just yet. So let's see, plane. General aviation fixes and improvements. 6 various plane oscillation and overshoot AP related issues. Fixed station ID visible on Garmin displays despite being not received by aircraft. Fixed issue in Garmin avionics preventing to fly a direct to after deleting the current flight plan. Aviat Pit Special S2S fixed turn coordinator not working properly. Citation longitude tweaked fuel flow and ITT for citation and longitude. Savage Cub fixed too high oil pressure. The all aircraft shared fixes and improvements, plane models update and optimization, fixing avionics or FMS, validating next waypoint to early when flying, fixed several aircraft going back to departure airport when approach is activated on G1000, tweaked ground effect, planes can land and roll on ice, fixed warnings and alerts not resetting when instruments reboot, Fixed monitor a frequency in COM 2. Co-pilot behavior has been improved. You're fine, Ed. Who knows? Maybe they fixed some things and just didn't say anything. Because I mean, this is the first time I've noticed the tack gauge looking a little different than normal. Spags is here. Roger that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people downloading the old update right now. Look at that. See, there's all my fans. Came all this way just to see him. That's a good call. There's Commandant Muttley. There's everybody. I thought we lost him. That's a fun little airplane. It's taken me almost this long to realize you guys are talking about specifically the AP roll mode and not just the roll rate in general. Oh, for sure. Most of my log time is in a 150. I've got about an hour logged in a 175, but most of it's been in a 150. There's only a slight variation on this. The 150 and the 152 are pretty doggone similar. I think the 152 just had a beefier engine. Gotcha. Yeah, it should be interesting to see how the noted changes actually work in the update for the G1000 approaches. No, breezy, then a 152. The name rings a bell, but I couldn't put my finger on it. It's one of those things where I think if I saw one, I'd know exactly what it was. But the name breezy does ring a bell. Eh. Ah, it's basically an ultralight. RLU-1 breezy. Home built. That's a positive test there, Dougal. There's an amphibious breezy. They put them on floats. Tandem seating. Pusher configuration. Yep. Yeah. The 152 is not meant for not exactly the most comfortable plane to fly in. You can get real cozy with whoever you're flying with. Yeah, definitely shoulder to shoulder. It was real nice having it on the ground and having the window open and be able to have your shoulder out or your elbow out. Yep. The old breezies. Oh yeah, when you got no cocoon around you, breezy is definitely appropriate. Hey Greyhawk, how are you? Hawk Driver 101's here. Hawk Driver tried the VR today using the Oculus Rift. Not too bad. Now my question is, are there perhaps older model VR headsets that would work with the Microsoft Flight Sim VR experience? Well, as long as they support OpenXR. Okay. They made it targeted at HP headset. Gotcha. So Oculus does support OpenXR. See, it does and it doesn't to me, Dougal, because for flight sim, it does because then I can actually just look around the cockpit like you would in a real thing. But beyond that, the only genre of soft games, we'll say, that appeal to me to use in VR are flying and racing. Beyond that, I'm not too fussed about it. Spag, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Raleigh Miles here, waiting on the update, as are many. That's very true, Hawk Driver. I've tried to assign most everything that I need commonly to my yoke and my throttle quadrant, just so I know where the button is and I can press it without having to necessarily look. So it just kind of becomes muscle memory, but that's just me. Such beautiful countryside. I'm telling you. Yeah, I like the idea of VR for flying and racing, but that's kind of the limit for me personally, which is another reason why I've not been interested in spending a whole lot of money on it, just for the limited usage. Didn't make a whole lot of sense to get the latest and greatest. Then again, I've always never really been. There's some things I like having the latest and greatest, but in a lot of ways, I'm perfectly fine having things that are a generation or two old. It's one reason why I wasn't in a hurry to get a new Xbox, because consoles always have issues on launch day. As Dougal McTavish with the $25, Merry Christmas, Colonel, would love to make it more, but tightening the reins over the lockdown. I still appreciate it, Dougal. Certainly not a requirement, but it's greatly appreciated. And I know the lockdowns everywhere really putting the squeeze on a lot of people. So your generosity is very, very humbling and appreciated, my friend. Yeah, I have a few things, but it's mostly like Orbex sceneries, the L19, the MB339. Basically, anything that's like I don't want to say official, but some of the payware stuff, basically, I'm more comfortable putting in first. It's the third-party stuff, the freeware stuff that I'm more hesitant to introduce into the sim, especially right off the bat. Dougal is indeed the man. Like, there's a nice freeware version of Cork that I haven't reinstalled since the update because I wasn't sure how it was going to affect the stream. Same with Shannon. But I do have the Orbex Dublin, or the MK Studios via Orbex Dublin installed, so we can check it out. And I even took that out just to make sure that it wasn't going to do a whole lot of interfering. It certainly is pretty, isn't it, Dougal? So there's the city of Cork. We'll do a brief flyover of the field as we then follow the shore to Waterford. Good to know, Noel. Yep, that's right where we're at. Just flying over Cork. Echo India Charlie Kilo. Evening, Pete. Glad to see you here. Welcome to Cork in lovely morning of virtual Ireland. We're just overflying Cork Airport. Enjoying the virtual sunrise on over the virtual Emerald Isle in the lovely little 152. Waterford will be our first landings of the day. Not today, actually. We're having some issues with it, so we're actually on the North Europe server. The East USA server was experiencing some problems, so we moved over to the Murphy server of North Europe. Anyone, if you had the standard MS. If I had to choose between the Mooney and the Seminole, I'd go with the Mooney. Rad Pilot Randy is now following on Twitch. Many thanks, my friend. As I'm apparently getting a little off course. staring off into the sunrise. Yeah, I mean, I like the Seminole. I even like it a little better than the Mooney in a lot of ways. But if I had to pick between the two, the Mooney would be the way to go. I'm a little partial to the 182, but from what I understand, it still has some issues, that make it not so good to fly in groups anyway. Yeah. Catbat is in the new Microsoft Flight Sim livery. I'm really excited for the Coronado Waco. Because that just looks like a ton of fun to fly. And their HQ, the headquarters for Waco, is not that far of a drive for me. Yeah, the new liveries, they're in the marketplace. So they should be just easy. They should be easy enough to find. Yeah, the Seminole's really nice. It's nice to have an alternative twin engine to the Baron to fly around in. It says holding up after the update. The only thing that didn't work out rebooting the sim was the tiny label. Good to know, Papa Joe. Once I get done with the stream this evening, do a full, good, proper system shutdown and restart, I'll see how everything pans out. Hope you're doing well, Raleigh Mall. And we're always glad to have you along. Yeah, I kind of want to fly the Bonanza stock before I reinstall the main improvement mod on it, just to see if they actually gave it the extra cylinders it's supposed to have. And so far, it seems that this is performing better than it used to, which is good. At patching, I'm stuck with a black screen to delete on game trailers. I don't see any network. Interesting. Dougal, Cat, Bat, Fast Pete, and Jeppesen. I see Jeppesen ahead. I have Alley Cats, Commandant Motley, Papa Joe B, Dougal McTavish, and Riot Pilot Randy all to my left. I'm pretty much a lot closer to the coast than everybody. There's Cat, Bat, and Hawk Driver. I'm a lot to the right of the magenta line. Kind of went closer to the coast. I mean, a leg falling off isn't that big of a deal when you're an amputee with a prosthetic, because you just put it back on. But, I mean, limbs falling off in general's generally much worse than a sim having troubles updating. So I'll agree with you there. But we'll try to help you get it sorted out there, Seamus. So the trip overall is really from Cork to Birr is not that long of a flight. But that's why the title is there, the scenic route. Because, well, I wanted to end up at Birr, but we needed to start off at Cork. Or Kerry, I should say. So I decided to the heck with it, and we'll take the long route. Pilot Peely's here. I'm doing well. How are you? Happy Tuesday. It's Christmas Eve. And we're checking out, kind of finishing up our little light tour of Ireland and parts of England. So the initial journey started off in Galway, went to the Casement Aerodrome, went into Wales, went into and north in England, went into southern part of Scotland, flew back into Ireland, and we're kind of finishing the loop off. It's a beautiful country. Can't wait to get over and visit in person. You had to change all your Christmas plans with kids. Yeah. Things are getting tight over the over the holiday, unfortunately, in more ways than one. But we'll get through it. I have no doubt. As the old saying goes, this too shall pass. And I like this little airplane so much. This too shall pass, and we have each other for company in the meantime. I know it's not the same, but it is what it is, and together we shall prevail. We'll fight them in the beaches, we'll fight them in the streets. Evening all. Same here, no major trauma to cancel the plans, but it does look like War Hamster's better half will have to work anyway. She's IT major. Well, I'm glad you got your priorities correct there, War Hamster. I mean, watching me fly can be a bit of work in and of itself. Wheezy winners. It's a beautiful countryside. They did such a good job. So, fun story. When the rear windows were first introduced on the 172 and the 152 and the 150s, it was called Omnivision as a marketing thing. Spag's download is complete. Here goes nothing. Let's see. 6 programs open, 2 radios on, jitters from drinking too much coffee, considering getting a filthy kebab for dinner. Well, hey, you gotta do what you can. So I reckon we got to be getting kind of close to Waterford. A little close. Yeah, 23 nautical miles isn't that far. Although you're a bit further ahead than I am. Good to see you. Glad you stopped by, Peely. And I hope the rest of your Tuesday goes well. We will catch you next time. Hundred knots. That's about what I'm doing. You're just further ahead. So we're going to look for runway 21 for landing. Unless someone has a wind reading from something that says otherwise. Seems like winds are typically from the shore. So runway 21 seems to be a bit more logical. Hello, Cloud. Meter. I'm just not sure how that's going to work with the few clouds as opposed to real weather. Scattered at 800 feet, broken at 18. Yeah, that doesn't even sound like I want to go to real world weather. That's oh, visibility. Where's the visibility? Hey, Kingsman, how you doing? Not sure why. It's visibility. It sounds like so 275 at 4. So yeah, we'll go with runway 21 on few clouds. Actually, I guess I could just look. Yeah, winds 270. Well, that's interesting. You got all your mods and third-party stuff out of the community folder. Gilbo Ireland is here. Welcome. The Seminole's worth it. I really enjoy it, and it's nice to have an alternative to fly a twin engine that's not the Baron. Kingsman is still waiting on the download. Yeah, it's a hefty one. So we're gonna go full mixture, pull the throttle back a bit. Yeah, Brick, I don't know. I haven't fired up the caravan just yet. But I would definitely make sure that all your third-party stuff is out. And then try it again. If you had any installed anyway. A few of the planes now restarted the game, restarted the interior PC. Well, we'll definitely try to keep posted and hear if only ones you have are deliveries. Gotcha. I don't know. Yeah, they're worth it, Raleigh. I enjoy them both. I probably enjoy the Seminole a bit more than the Mooney, but the Mooney is still a good purchase. They're both great purchases, especially on sale. Raining in Limerick. And live, yeah. From the METAR, I could tell that it was IMC with a ceiling of 1,800 feet. It's that would as long as the visibility was 3,000 or 3 miles. that would have still been considered VFR, but marginal at best. But we're flying on few clouds so that it's a bit more of a pleasant flight. Yeah. And from the METAR, I couldn't tell what the visibility was. So I'll get down first so that I can record some landings. As soon as I locate the field. Oh, for sure, I bet. Okay, the field should be directly in front. So we've dropped some altitude. We're gonna put in some throttle to not lose a whole lot more, since we're getting towards pattern altitude. So remember, runway 21 is what we'll be landing on. We approach the field. Flying over Waterford. Beautiful scenery, it's just absolutely stunning. So we have the field in sight. We're going to fly over center field and loop around for runway 21. Expecting a significant crosswind. So we're almost over the field. There's the beacon. There's Catbat. There's Hawk Driver and Commandant Muttley, Fast Pete. There's Red Pilot Randy. There's Allie. As the glare of the sun makes it a little more difficult to see. Let's see, some packages in your community folder may not have been updated, and as a result may please move community packages. Yeah. So yeah. Although I think it's pretty good practice in general nowadays to clear out the community folder during an update, because you never know what it's going to do. Okay, so there's that. We're using the trim to... There's one notch of flaps. We're going to go ahead and turn base. Try to maintain 1500 RPM. We're going to use trim to maintain speed. Pitch to speed, throttle to altitude. That's what makes this all very exciting there, Dougal. But I get to get down first, because I get to record the landing. So there, haha. We're a little high on the glide slope, but that's alright. Why we use our pitch. Or excuse me, our throttle. Gonna kind of slip it a little bit. Don't need to slip it a whole lot. A little bit of a crab. Throttle to idle. Firm back pressure on the yoke. There we go. We got a nice two-wheel touchdown. Nose is still up. Slowing down. Nose down. And we'll start braking. Flaps are going up. Get our idle throttle up. Okay, parking brake set. And we're going into drone mode. There we go. So Allie is down. Looks like Papa Joe B will be number 2 on the landing. And the runway is open. And like the chat message said, don't forget to hydrate, drink some water. Water, coffee, or tea. Pop doesn't count. There's Papa Joe B. Nicely done. There's Piat. There's Catbat. Catbat with the go around. Got with the nice approach as well. Now's as good a time as any to make sure your airplane is fueled up for the remainder of the flight. As Piat back taxis. There's Dougal McTavish with the legs hanging out in the 172. Very nice. You're okay. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're good. Coming up, Muttley's in. A little blown by the wind, but that's okay. The important thing is we're down. Nicely done. There's Fast Pete with a nice stable approach. Right on the center line. Very nice. Says can't move JSON files. I think they should be, the Orbex stuff should be okay as Red Pilot Randy comes in. Tire wear indicators, gotcha. Catbat 9's in. Nicely done both to Randy and Catbat. Catleros just joined in VR, nice. Hope it's working well for you. The question is, was that everybody or do we have more? We got Hawk Driver inbound. So we'll look at find nearest windsock just to double check wind. Yeah, that's a direct crosswind. So, tried before, had to go to work and was stuck on hitting keys for pilot view. Here comes Hawk Driver. And there's Hawk Driver with a nice approach. There we go. Nicely done. So we'll bring the camera in. And we're back in the cockpit. So parking brake's coming off. Gonna increase the throttle so we can get out of the grass. There we go. So we'll get back on the tarmac of the runway so we roll a little easier. There's Allie with the tire wear indicators out. So next stop is we're flying over Newcastle on our way to Dublin. And let us know what you find, G Slayer. Thanks for stopping by. I do appreciate it. So we're gonna do our turnaround here. If everyone keeps to the right, I'll go ahead and take off. We'll do our airport orbit. Aileron into the wind. Trims up. Flap down. Maintain runway heading for a little while. That should be good with the altitude. Flaps coming up. And we'll start our casual left-hand turn. Not at all, Ed. If anybody in the chat can help anyone else having issues, I'm all about that. That's why we're here. Kind of a live help desk of sorts. I'm all about helping out. If I can't do it, I'm just grateful there's people that are able to. So there's Dougal, there's Piat, there's Fast Pete, there's Commandant Motley, there's Rad Pilot Randy, Gibbo Ireland, Papa Joe B, Catbat 9, Hawk Driver 101, and Allie. So it seems everybody's gotten off fairly quickly, so we'll go ahead and proceed on course. So we're on our way to Newcastle. Actually, we're on our way to Dublin via Newcastle. Well, it is appreciated, Ed. By the way, I hope your hands are healing well. We're flying over Philly Roach's house. Well, how about we all do a wing wave as we fly over Philly's house? We'll be here when you get back, Ed. Make that supper. So now that we're all in the air and sitting up on course, I'm gonna go ahead and set cruise power on for 2400 RPM. Reduce the mixture. And we start trimming out the aircraft a little bit for cruise. There's a golf course. I don't know the name of this river. It's a decently wide river. Chambers is still having the black screen issue. That's interesting, my dude. So I do believe this is our long leg. And of course, I didn't save it on that one. I have to go over here. So yes, this leg is a grand total of 89 nautical miles to get over Newcastle and on our way to Dublin. The last, actually no, I take that back. This isn't the longest one. The last leg from Kerry to Waterford via Cork was actually 99 nautical miles. So this is going to be a 10 nautical mile shorter leg. Waterford to Dublin via Newcastle. And then the last leg, once we get landed up at Dublin, will be 62 nautical miles from Dublin to Birr. Scotland 7337 project is telling your room, got another monitor for the little nav map. Well, first off, Scotland, you're never late. You arrive exactly when you needed to. There's no such thing as late. But I'm glad you're here. I need to tidy up my room a bit as well. It's looking a bit like a disaster ran through. Beautiful country. Well, that's always important, Scotland. Being able to see the floor is it's the first step. Then it's being able to, walk through things and using the floor to get where you're going. I know what that's like, especially when you have a black dog and you need to use the washroom late at night and you don't want to turn any lights on and you have to kind of shuffle your feet so you don't step on the dog. Papa Joe B, I don't know. That would be a question for someone more knowledgeable about little nav map. I'm not that familiar with it. Can't say as I've used it. I think I've seen some people use it on something like a Raspberry Pi or some other tablet. I'm not sure if it even works on iOS. So I mean, some sort of tablet, like a PC-based tablet, could work maybe. So that's kind of a up in the air thing. Raleigh Mouse says he runs it on a tablet. I would imagine that it does have to be a Windows-based tablet because I can't. I mean, I'm speaking kind of without knowledge. But I would imagine it'd need to be a Windows-based tablet. Or at the very least, some sort of Linux or something. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. Space desk. Is Space Desk anything like Space Pants? Interesting. Oh, I mean, it's worth a look. I think that it does work. Little nav map might work over network. I believe Sim Toolkit Pro does that as well. They're running back and forth from kitchen to no worries, Ed. Ah, there it is, Windows 8.1. Yep. Yeah, as long as it's a Windows-based system, it should be just fine then. I feel like it's one of those. There's probably an option out there. It's just a matter of knowing what it is and how it works. You just steer a little to the west a bit. Kind of getting a little far off the magenta line there. Such a beautiful country. I mean, flying is great, but flying with friends, so much better. Get to share the enjoyment. There you go. It's those odd things you never see coming. Oh, glad you got it sorted out there, Seamus. There's Dougal. It's what I love best about the community, Seamus, is it's full of such wonderful and knowledgeable people always willing to help each other out. Oh look, it's my fans. They're back. My fans on the hillside just waving for me to fly by. And 8 o'clock is seems to be the best time to start flights out. Let's see. Little nav map. Sort 7, 8, and 10. It's always good information. Formation flying at its finest. We do our very best at formation flying. We've got a lot of talented people here. Welcome to Ireland. We're getting close to Newcastle. We have the Irish Sea to that side. Just some generic citizen flying along. I like to think of the co-pilot is the viewer. Taking in the sights. All our friends are spread out a little bit. There you go. That's the idea. That's the spirit of what we do. Flying over the Emerald Isle, the Irish Sea to the right, the fields of green below. We're on our way to Dublin via Newcastle. Flying low and slow. Wonder if our friend Jeppesen 2001 is working on top secret projects over in Dublin. Well, I do have a bottle, but once we get to Dublin, we'll have to crack something open, I guess. Maybe pick up some Guinnesses. Ed's back. Ed, it seems that Seamus got it all sorted out. Eight hours bottled throttle. Yeah, he said that his he uses a software mix amp software, and that was what was interfering. And we appreciate you as well, Ed. So once we hit Newcastle, it's approximately 23 nautical miles to Dublin. And we're closing in quickly to Newcastle. There's Dougal with the treadwear markers. Or the tire wear markers. That's the term I was looking for. It's illogical, Captain. Well, we do thank you, Ed, because you are a great help. So don't cut yourself short. Cut yourself short. Sell yourself short. Words are hard, man. So there's the lovely Irish Sea. So we're going to start trying to do a turn to the right so that we're following the coast more as we get to Newcastle. So that we're get on an approach to Dublin. Well, I might just have to take you up on that. And if we do it with flight sim, we can go anywhere in the world. I should save all these Irish flights for after the update drops to save you having to do. Well, see, here's the thing about that. If it just gives me an excuse to fly in Ireland even more times between Ireland and Scotland, because I still have yet to explore much of Scotland. So far, we've only gone through Edinburgh and Glasgow. Haven't yet gone up to that one spot north of Edinburgh that I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. So we have quite a bit of Scotland to explore. We still have quite a bit of England and Wales to explore. And heaven forbid that I spend a lot of time checking out Ireland, because it's such a beautiful place. I could spend a lot of time flying over here. There you go. That's awesome. Since the release of Microsoft Flight Sim, I have many friends over in Ireland now, and many in the UK as well. Trust me, Gibbo, there's, as Rad Pilot Randy donated with the 50, many thanks, my friend. I'm glad you enjoy the flying time, and Merry Christmas to you as well. I'm humbled and grateful, my friend. Glad you enjoy the flights, and that's huge. So I'm very grateful for that. Where to? We have a lot of MVPs here, FTH. and there are a lot of good folks that I'm very grateful to know. They're all great people. It's very humbling. So we're almost over Newcastle. So we'll be, thanks to all for life. You're always welcome along, Ed. You're a great guy, and it's good to have you on board. Whoa, it's all happening, man. FTH says he joined, but only fly boat. Well, at some point in the future, I'm sure there will be boats added, as Allison Johnson has gifted has gifted 5 tier 1 subs to the channel. So welcome Jay Winokur, Fraser Wart, Kevmo 25, Sydney OSB, and Warhamster 01 as new subscribers to the channel, courtesy of Allison Johnson. It's all happening today, folks. I'm incredibly grateful for everyone. What a week. What a couple of weeks. You're all wonderful people, and I'm glad you're along. It's like a postcard, except for the name tags. USCG Azimuth just subscribed. Many thanks, my friend. Here's to many more flights in the future. After case maneuverability crafting, I see you approaching. I wondered if you see any train issues at South Dublin coming up. Few areas are jutting upwards since yesterday. We'll keep an eye out for those, Jepson. We couldn't sneak up on you like we hoped, but well, hey, you saw us coming. We'll keep an eye out for any terrain abnormalities in southern or South Dublin, and we will let you know. It's possible they're still doing behind the scenes stuff for the big UK update next month. Yeah, I never thought that I'd have this many subs on Twitch or YouTube, for that matter. I'm at 159 followers-ish on Twitch. And probably that 144 on YouTube. Yeah, I'm incredibly grateful for everyone. I'm just glad you all like the channel and like the content. It's a joy being able to fly with you all and be a part of the community. You know, it really takes me back, gives me that little bit of humility. Because you're all great folks, and it's just a pleasure to be a part of the group. Almost scared the lunch out of Warhamster. Oh, for sure, Azimuth. 100%. There's no doubt about that. It won't let me hit the like button, Allison, but I am happy. So we're probably gonna, there's one, I think there's one terrain glitch there right near the coast coming into the Dublin area. I think they're kind of remnants of things being changed for the big update next month. It is the Great Pyramid of Dublin. Yeah, it's always nice to get some confirmation that you're not crazy as we're flying over the Newcastle airstrip now. I often have similar feelings when things look a little askew, and I'm just like, is that me, or is it really a thing? Oh, there's another one. Oh, 100% Warhamster. That would be fantastic. Lord knows that if any company had the money and influence to make it happen, it's got to be Microsoft. We're on the North Europe server Raleigh Mall. The East US was giving us problems, so we switched to the North Europe, and so far it seems to be playing nice. There's Allie. So I saw this S. Reynolds 1409 saw a mass planes up the east coast of Ireland in game and went searching for who was live. Well, you found him. Allie does have the monster machine now. Well, the little pyramid has gone. We have a new one. Well, I'll tell you what, Warhamster, if they don't get Donegal just perfect, we'll all back you up in that tantrum. Because how dare they? As we see, I don't know what the bay is specifically called, but the bay that is nearby Dublin. Good evening, afternoon, good day to you, Rogers RC. Glad you stopped by. So far, that one terrain glitch is persisting. So I don't know if you have it available to you, Allison, but if you could provide the best east-west runway for us to land on, that would be superb. They seem to correct themselves when you get closer, then reappear further away. Anyway, they'll probably. I can imagine it might have something to do with LODs, updates for that matter. It's hard to tell. As Canegua has just subscribed over on Twitch. Many thanks, my friend. I do as a gift from USCG Azimuth. So we'll land on 28 left. So that terrain has cleared. As more are popping up. My name's myself having to explain that I'm from the south, but Donegal is in the northwest and in southern. The mysterious peaks of Ireland. We shall name each odd peak after a firefly. I think we flew out of Donegal on Thursday. We flew out of Donegal on Sunday. We flew into Donegal on last Thursday. You have a good one, Azimuth, and we'll catch you around for sure. And yes, Jay Winokur, we will party hard. So all these random peaks shall be named after fireflies. Donegal. Well, name butchering is definitely a service I provide for free at no additional charge to the channel. But I do my best to get things right, so it's Donegal. On a tiny and very scenic little strip in North Donegal. Roger that, Warhamster. Looking forward to that. As we can see, Jepson hiring away on secret projects. With the mystery mountains of Dublin. Let's start away with. Bad Banana 27, like the name. Papa Joe B, Gibbo Ireland are there. We're on the southern part of Dublin. Casement Aerodrome is right over there where you see Jepson 2001. And we're about to be over downtown Dublin as soon as we cross the bay. So we're over the St. George's Channel, entering Dublin Bay. I bet there was. Sure, they'll get all sorted out. Yep, there's the IRC. According to the maps, this is Dunleary. There's an update for the patternboard scenery, and that was massive. Nice. Very tall tower there. Well, I hope you can see us flying, Pete. We're landing on runway 28. I suppose I should get into the cockpit while we are on approach. Make it a little easier. Money Point Power Station. Around 93 miles east. Uh-oh. And that's a sim crash. So give me a moment to get things sorted out. Pigeon House Power Station, says Noel. It was all going so well. So we're waiting for the sim to start itself again. I shall be in shortly. $135 from Liverpool to Dublin. Could do most of that via car, but there's a big chunk of that you'll have to get on something that floats or flies. And now, a word from our sponsors. Today, this flight brought to you by the letter F. Press F in chat. To pay respects. Random question. What bitrate do you stream at? I think I've got it set to in the lower 5,000 settings. I've kept it low. It was an AMD related issue that I've only started having since the last driver update for my GPU. And it's basically a reference to, I think it's a Call of Duty game where you're at a funeral and you walk up to the casket to pay respects to whoever it was in the casket, and the button prompt is for you to press the F key. So it became a meme to, press F to pay respects. So it's kind of a meme thing. Don't feel bad about not knowing it. Yeah, I mean, it's good, and maybe I need to tweak a setting or two, and which would make sense. I probably will here in a moment. Because out in the more rural areas, it seems to be okay. My current bitrate is right around 51 to 5200 kilobytes a second. So far the new update, I mean, other than needing to do a lot of full shutdowns, restarts, and whatnot, the update's kind of for me. It's been mostly the introduction of VR. Oh, for sure, Ed. For sure. And I have some needing of a couple of upgrades to my system here and there, specifically in the CPU department. Although, the odd part is, I never see my CPU really maxed out nearly as much as my GPU is. I'm gonna go into settings. Building. Let's go to put that to medium. Oh. Okay. So we're gonna set departure here. Set it for about 10 a.m. or few clouds. I like EIBR. Go. We'll see what happens this time round. Ed and Seamus, I did post a Know Your Meme page about the press F to pay respect, so hopefully it does an okay job at explaining what it's supposed to mean. Okay, it set me real high in the sky. I can fly twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, Reading Rainbow. So instantly go to power settings for descent. First thing we're going to do is go to VFR settings and avoid the radio. So bear with me for a few moments whilst I lose some altitude and get landed up. I do apologize for the interruption in service. Let's see, to all, when you download any updates, very good advice, Ed. Ooh, 182 update. I'm all about that. Runway is in sight. I see it running in the background and not click on thing. Yeah. What's that old song? Waiting is the hardest part. Seems awfully applicable. The Seminole should be in the marketplace, yes. That's where I got it. I think, at least for the time being, Coronado is exclusively releasing their products via the Flight Sim marketplace. They're not necessarily releasing it like they did their X-Plane and FSX and P3D aircraft. I could be wrong on that, but so far they've only been releasing them via the EINC Sim marketplace. Papa Joe. There's Roger. There's Searney. Or Sean Reynolds. Can't believe I just called you Sneerney. My apology. Deep Future. We're almost there, folks. Hopefully we'll catch some landings here. There's Fast Pete. Jepson. Papa Joby is practicing turns around a point. It's a good skill to keep sharp. I do. And I'm really hoping that it cooperates long enough for me to show it off a little bit. Because I haven't even looked at it in the sim. Let alone shown it off on stream. And that's kind of why I made the odd flight plan as I did, because I wanted to show off Dublin, but I didn't want a really short flight, and I really wanted to fly around the southern coast of the island. So the scenic route was the best option. And Allison was doing turns around a point on a nav beacon. Well, fantastic. So welcome to Dublin. So we're very much above the the glide slope. So we'll trim up. We can throw a notch of flaps in. We're going to use our trim to compensate. We're going to throw another notch in since we're so close to landing. As Commandant Muttley down on the ground, Piat as well. so far we're having a nice look at the airfield. I cannot attest personally to the accuracy of the buildings, but it sure looks fantastic. There's the middle marker. Add a little bit of power. And a little low. So there's the smooth as Kerry gold. So we'll take this first taxiway. We're under 40 knots, so flaps are coming up. So we're gonna stop right about here, slap on the parking brake, get into the drone cam, and move ourselves to runway 28 left. And we'll take a brief tour once we get everyone down. So, welcome to Dublin, everyone. And the runway is clear for landing. First up is, there's Allie in the 172. Sean Other is over in casement with Jepson. Awesome. And once we take off from here, we'll do a quick fly over casement just to wave hello. There's Rad Pilot Randy. Papa Joe B and Catbat all in. That's what I've heard about the snow. We'll definitely have to test that. We'll see about doing that on Thursday's stream. So we're going to see who else is on final. We got Fast Pete inbound. Nice. Uh-oh, Murph's having problems. Can't working in the sim. No sounds in the menus, but not working. Interesting. That's not good. We are currently at Echo India Delta Whiskey, or Dublin International. There have been a lot of people having similar issues, Murph. Just be glad it wasn't your stream night. There's Fast Pete. So, that being said, let's go ahead and do some exploring of the fancy Orbix Dublin Airfield. So far, it looks fantastic. From the jetways. Well, you got a L-19 on floats parked up at one of the gates. Because, you know, that makes sense. That should be the mic up and running now. Yeah, that was an OBS failure. My apologies, everyone. That was highly irregular. Very peculiar. Update day. Woo! So what is this small runway, short runway that we have over here? It's as if they're doing construction or something. Very curious. Aha. We're just doing a nice pan over field now, getting a nice look at the scenery. That Ryan Air. A very colorful airplane. There's one Dougal. So, we're going to make our way and finish our trip. As we get back to our airplane, we're going to go ahead and release the parking brake. Give it a little bit more oomph to get her rolling. We're going to make sure that our trim is set for takeoff. So we're going to take off, fly south over Casement Aerodrome, and then resume on course towards Birr. Not just because it's cold there, but that's the name. That's highly curious. Runway ahead? You don't say. Okay, mixture goes to full. And we slowly advance the throttle. There's 50 knots, 55, one notch of flaps goes down, and lift off. Okay, flaps are coming up. So we're going to go pay Jeppesen a visit. So we're heading to just fly over Casement Aerodrome to give a hello to our friend Jeppesen, working on top secret projects, no less, or no doubt. Oh goodness, I haven't counted, but there's more than a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're part of 10. Now the better part of 12, maybe. Power, back mixture. So as we continue over to Casement Aerodrome, just to scope out the joint, say hello to our friend Jeppesen. We will then proceed on course to Birr, a nice little cozy grass strip. And for those that don't know, Casement Aerodrome is a military airfield for the Irish Air Corps. Firefly's inbound Jeppesen will wave as we fly past. There's a big old hole in the ground. A quarry of some kind. This is painted like the air quarry. Nice. It's a nice looking field that Casement is. With an adjoining golf course. Ah, it's a coal mine. Everybody do a wing wave to Jeppesen as you fly past. Let's hope he sees it. It's enough to serve the Irish Air Corps, but a lot smaller than any U.S. air base. So we'll proceed on course towards Birr. We'll catch Jeppesen on the Discord servers. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12. 12? Hey, 12, 13. 5. Yeah, 13. We're just looking for that old magenta line to intercept. It's always fun looking forward to what Jeppesen 2001 has put out for scenery. He's done a fantastic job with Monument Valley and other places. Did a fantastic rendition of the bar from the Top Gear Vietnam special with Clarkson, May, and Hammond back in the day. So our next and final stop is EIBR, Echo India Bravo Romeo. And I do believe it is in County Tipperary. Could be wrong. My memory could be failing me. Nice little grass strip. Perfect for little 172s, 152s, and such. You have a good night, Kingsman. Thanks for watching, coming along. We look forward to seeing you the next time. Connie Ofali. I wasn't talking to you, phone. I love it when my phone thinks I'm talking to it. I'm not. You did the the Amelia Earhart light on Holland Island. Connie Ofali. Gotcha. Jepson has done a fantastic job with scenery, and we look forward to everything he's putting out. Can't wait to see what is next. But regardless, Birr is a nice little grass strip. There's Piat, Catbat, Bass Pete, Sean, Allie, Dougal, Ash, Rad, Pilot Randy, Papa Joe B, Roger RC, Jepson, Fancier Balloons. Got a nice block of planes with us today. No logs at this airport. It's log free. Awfully. We'll get it straightened out. Pardon me. Beautiful country. Well, I appreciate that, Allison. So we'll hop back in the cockpit for a minute. Check all the gauges, make sure everything is hunky-dory. When in doubt, when the sim music and noise doesn't want to work, always go with the costume. Next thing you know, the next mask that Murph will pull out would be that of a pigeon with flying goggles and a scarf. So we're about to fly over Echo India Papa Romeo. We're probably not going to see it real well because we're right above it. MJ Daiso has subscribed on Twitch. Many thanks, my friend. I do appreciate that. I'm just grateful for all of you. And I'm glad that you all enjoy the content enough to subscribe. It does mean an awful lot. And there's the latest Twitch subscriber out in the distance. We can see their name tag. So we're going to try to get a little closer to the magenta line by steering right a bit. Make it easier to find Birr. It's always interesting to see the issues that arise on a new flight sim update. It can be a bit of a hair-raising experience from time to time. I don't see any driving in the river, so I shall believe that they are not there. And you never know. The audio issues may be a pain now, but you'll load it up tomorrow and be like, well, suddenly everything's working. What's going on? Because Flight Sim has a liking to do that sort of thing. Make everyone think they're crazy and fix itself. There's something on the wing. Something on the wing. I mean, it's all Murphy's Law. Let's see. Make sure you post thread on forum. And there's some, yeah. What Piat said. Can't hurt to ask. Oh, my accent's all over the place. I believe that is a missing files issue. Don't know, I have nothing running in the background. Couldn't hurt. So now, once we land at Birr, I have to figure out a snowy place to fly on Thursday, on Christmas Eve. I'm happy to provide the challenge for you, Sean. Been in the real low and slow kind of groove lately. Keen Lafford is here. You're not late. You arrived exactly when you needed to. How are you, my friend? Oh, it's okay. I'm doing well, Keen. Glad you're doing well. Glad you could make it. We're having a nice, slow look at the Irish countryside on our way to Birr, our last landing of the evening. I can only assume we're getting close. Probably not as close as I think. Definitely not as close as I think. Let's see. Are you on live? No, I'm actually on Few Clouds. The 30 nautical miles. That's not too bad. Nothing like a nice relaxing flight, some nice relaxing music, and sharing it all with your friends. Nice way to chill out through the work week. Find a nice calming thing before you go off to slumberland. Especially in a current time when travel any great distance is restricted for health reasons. And while we all know that this too shall pass, we're all in this together. Flight Sim 2020 has definitely been the bright spot of a lot of people's year, including my own. Been eternally grateful for the friendship and community that I've discovered after finding Two Tone Murphy. One of the most chilled out, relaxing flight sim streams I've seen. Someone that was flying the low and slow planes and not stuck on the airliners with a nice, relaxed attitude and quick with the wit. And a pleasant presenter in this time of 2020. 100%, Allison. 100%. So I've continued to remain grateful for all that it's brought. Because with any negative thing, you always have to find your silver lining. It may seem insignificant to some, but as long as it's significant to you, that's what matters. And I think for me personally, one of the best parts of it is being able to interact with so many people not from the U.S. and, you know, learning about how things are looking over on, you know, over in Europe, and, you know, being able to see how, you know, getting a more down to earth insight on how things are in other parts of the U.S. and how it's affecting them. You know, just it's lovely to have such an international community all in one place, and it's just fantastic. Spatial sounds. Does that mean we're getting space? We'll get space shuttles. Thrusters on full, Mr. Sulu. Speaking of international communities, only 146 days until the Eurovision. How about that? Just can't use tiny plates anymore. Just get blank screen part through loading. Huh. Sounds like something to hold off on until the authors of the mod update it. Man, this Ireland is such a beautiful place. So, as we're getting closer and closer to Birr, I'll be the first one down. I'll get parked. And get positioned in such a way that I can catch everybody's landings. So this is an interesting set of hills. Looks like it'd be a lot of fun to hike. from the looks like it almost looks like it suffered from some sort of landslide at some point. Sounds like progress is being made to some degree on the sound issues. Engines in the right now working, menus are mute, but that's not a game changer. Fair enough. Of all the things to lose, the menu is the least important. You know, to hear the environment and the engine, that's pretty important. Yeah, Dougal, you're right. The troubles we go through just for flight sim. You might almost call it either being a glutton for punishment or a labor of love. To be fair, Flight Sim has a lot less troubles than real life does. I would certainly rather deal with the troubles of Flight Sim than a lot of other things. Raleigh, I believe he said something about spatial or 3D sounds in the sound settings. Could be wrong. Yeah, the Aviators Club liveries are in the marketplace. As odd as it seems, I can't imagine it having anything to do with sound problems, but who knows? At this rate, it's hard to tell what's connected to what. Let's go with 3-6. We're going to end up with a crosswind no matter what way we go. So we'll go with 3-6. And I'll go to the actual 3-6 this time, unlike the trip in St. Louis, where I said that we'd take 1-8 and I went to 3-6. So yes, we will take runway 3-6. There goes Piat. So what I'll do is I'll do a brief flyover just to make sure I have eyes on the runway. It does. No autopilot to speak of in the one. Well, that's frustrating. Just as soon as we're getting there, life says, haha. So we're getting it back up and running again. That was an AMD issue again. Very interesting. Not entirely certain what would have caused it this time around. It certainly is, Dougal. So what I'm going to do, just because we're almost there anyway, is I'm just going to load in at the airport, and I'm going to record whatever lanes we can. See what happens. And I'm going to have to see about rolling back some GPU drivers. You have a good night, Callipy D. Glad you enjoyed the trip, as even with the couple of interruptions. And you have a good day tomorrow. And we'll see you in a couple of days. You have a great night, Allison. Totally understand. And we'll catch you tomorrow. So hopefully I catch some landings. All right, so get there. Set the time. Clouds. And go. So on to the drone camera view. Set up. So there's still a lot, folks, inbound. You have a good night, Keen. So no worries here. And we'll catch you in the next stream and with Murphy's stream. You have a good night, Papa Joe B. Glad you could make it. Sorry I didn't catch the landing, but you have a good night. There's Piat with a nice landing. You have a good night, Allison. You have a great night, Murph. We'll catch you tomorrow. Hopefully everything gets working for you as Rad Pilot Randy is inbound. There's Dougal. Glad you enjoyed the route, Murph. It was a fun fly. I'm just apologize for the interruptions that were decided to happen. As there's MJ Daiso with a nice landing. Massive is home to the Ormond Flying Club. In a normal year, it hosts one of the first breakfast flyings of the year. Nice. There's Chippy in the 172. Nicely done. There's Rogers RC. A nice approach. There's Fast Pete. Glad you enjoyed it, Noel. You take care of yourself. Have a good night's rest. And we'll catch you the next flight. Glad you enjoyed it, Randy. You also have a great evening. I think we still have a few more coming in. There's Hawk Driver, Raleigh Mall. Sean Reynolds is there. The important thing is you're down. Glad you enjoyed it, Dougal. Glad to have you along. Appreciate the patience from everybody with the system interruptions. You have a good night, Peter. Here comes Sean Reynolds and Raleigh Mall. I hope the reversers work. That was pretty fantastic for a short final. So Raleigh Mall is inbound. We kind of get a nice look at the overall scenery here. That nice plot of land. Here in the countryside of Ireland. Absolutely beautiful. There's Raleigh. Doing a flyover. Well, that being the case, again, thanks for sticking with me through the interruptions. I do apologize and I do appreciate the patience. It's been a great flight. With having all of you along for the ride was awesome. For the donations, for the follows, for the subscriptions, for all of that, I am humbled yet again and grateful that you think that it's worthwhile. We'll see you again on Thursday. I will post our flight plan on the Discord when it gets finalized. But until next time, be good to each other. Stay safe out there. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.